found a love.
Hey guys, I thought I would do something a little different. I haven't vlogged in a while, my apologies, but I thought I'd do a vlog on vinyl records. I'm sure there are loads of people out there who do still listen to vinyl. It's cheeky joining in. But for those of you who don't really know much about it, I thought I'd shed a bit of light on something that I'm now very, very passionate about. I've been listening to vinyl records for a very long time, but I've not, there's been a period of a good 10 or more years where I haven't listened to them, and I've just come back into it again. I grew up on vinyl records. My mother has an extensive collection which she's now given to me, which is behind me here, of vinyl that she collected when she was a student, and I brought that out of storage and added to it with some more modern records, and I thought I'd explain a little bit about the technology behind, or what you might think is primitive, but the technology behind vinyl and why it sounds so great, why there's still such a following for it, and why maybe it's resurging again. So we know music to be something that we listen to. The sort of internet revolution has made it very, very easy now to listen to music without even buying it. Quite often there's a lot of illegal downloads that happen. There's streaming, there's YouTube, there's millions of ways you can listen to music. But fact of the matter is, you can't really beat the sound of a wonderful vinyl playing on a good turntable through a good pair of speakers and an amp. It sounds absolutely incredible. I mean, there's something that's different about analog audio, because this is an analog technology. For those of you who don't know, a vinyl record is basically a piece of very rigid plastic with little grooves cut through, and a needle will trace these and vibrate on left and right channels at different frequencies to reproduce the sound that was originally planted into them by a lathe or a recording stylus. So what you're listening to is the nature of most analog recording is that you're listening to a continuous waveform that's not been chopped up or messed with. When you're listening to, say, a CD, you're listening to music at 44.1 kilohertz, which means that every second of audio has been chopped up 44,100 times across whatever 16 bits on a CD, which is the length at which it will, the depth at which it samples every frequency, and it'll give you a 1 or a 0 according to whether that frequency is present or not. So whilst that's extremely high, it's faster than you can hear with your ears, the sample rate, it doesn't quite reproduce music in the way that, for example, it would do on an analog tape machine or off a vinyl record, where there's no chopping involved. The waveform is continuous. It's being recorded in its entirety onto that vinyl surface or on a magnetic tape. So, I mean, if anybody does own a reel-to-reel tape machine, you'll know that the fidelity of those machines is unbelievable. I mean, it's far more pleasurable to listen to music off of a reel-to-reel tape recorder than it is off a CD, at least for me. And so with vinyl, you have that technology, you have what was on those tapes is on the vinyl, because there's no chopping, it's an immediate analog transfer. So people seem to associate it as being this thing which crackles and hisses and has all these faults and scratches can happen. Yes, that's true with anything analog almost. It's something that's in your hand, it's tangible, you know? So it requires care when you're handling it, but at the same time this sort of like myth that vinyl is scratchy and tinny to listen to is total rubbish. I mean, but what I will say is that vinyl's as good as what you play it on. If you play it on a really, really rubbish turntable with a terrible needle, it will sound bad. But if you play it on a good turntable or a half-decent turntable, it can be incredible. And I wasn't aware of this. I've been slowly putting things together in this little system I have here for good more than 6 months now, since about, I don't know, maybe the beginning of September last year. I've been looking into this, and so I bought a good turntable, not a bad one anyway, and this is a Rega RP3 here, and I got an ancient amplifier here from 1978 potentially, or 1980, an AD3020 that I got for a ridiculously cheap price because it's old and nobody thinks they care, but it sounds amazing, and a pair of good speakers, and we're off. The sound quality is unbelievable. I've got Gregory Isaacs playing here. This is a record that I used to play personally with my own hands when I was a kid, and my mother used to listen to this before I was even born, and it's one of her favourite records, and it's one of my favourites. Absolutely incredible. And so yeah, but I wanted to also say that you can get newer music as well available on vinyl, and there's something about holding it in your hand but having that piece of vinyl in your hand, it's different to listening to an MP3. It's not tangible. So I don't know, everybody knows I love John Mayer, I love Michael Jackson. I've got Battle Studies here, so this is a John Mayer record. It's a really beautiful entity in my hands here. I mean, if you can see how lovely and high resolution the front image is, and you open up its gatefold and it's got that beautiful photograph inside. It's just lovely. It's a lovely experience when you're listening to the album, to be able to read through a huge sleeve and a huge, a tangible item basically. And your records are kept on these beautiful sleeves. And as with everything John Mayer, he's put lots of attention into it, so even the records look incredible. And brand new, these sound phenomenal as well. I mean, I bought the original CD of Battle Studies, and I also have the LP now. And I basically started 2 tracks at the same time and put them into different channels, and then just A/B between the vinyl that was playing and the CD that was playing. And I'm not kidding, a school kid could tell the difference. It's not a small difference, it's enormous. The treble is 20 times more defined. There's this air that comes out on the high end. The low end is just luscious, it's like tangible almost. So there is an awesome amount of detail and sound and resolution that is packed into these vinyl records. So, but again, the limitation isn't necessarily the record, but it's more what you're playing it on. So getting a half-decent turntable is a good idea. For anyone who's interested, you can pick them up really surprisingly cheap, because I mean, they make turntables that cost $100,000, so this does go up. I can't get this in its sleeve. But you can get now these budget turntables by manufacturers such as Project, and even Reganate, some of the lower end turntables that are ridiculously amazing quality for the price you're paying. So yeah, go and have a look around. If you're into your music, like I certainly am, I listen 24/7, and then you can pick up amazing turntables that sound brilliant, together with incredible records. I mean, I've got Jimi Hendrix here. This is probably from the 70s, I'd imagine. This is a double LP of Axis Bold as Love and Are You Experienced? And it's so old you can even hear the hum of the lathes that they would have used back then, which to cut the records. You can hear a slight residual hum, but it's not noticeable unless it's in the silent parts. But this sounds phenomenal. I mean, I've owned the CDs of this as long as I can remember, and I've been listening to Hendrix all my life, but this is something else. So it's lovely to have this in your hand, to be able to listen to it. So we've got ancient relics, not ancient really, but old relics like this that are older than me. And you've got newer stuff like Battle Studies, Michael Jackson vinyls. Whoa, incredible. I mean, even the older ones or the newer ones like this is Invincible. The beats literally, like, they punch you in the stomach. That's how harsh, how incredible the drums and the kick sound. You can feel it. And yeah, I've put a couple on my lap here. Milo Xyloto by Coldplay, also another amazing modern record that you could buy. And beautiful artwork too, when they've done it so that it's sort of like see-through and the sleeve kind of comes out like that. So, but yeah, I mean, you could get into this like I do, and I think it gives a different dimension to music. You appreciate it so much more, because this is a literal record in your hands, and it sounds phenomenal. And there's something I don't know, it's ingrained within me anyway, because I used to do it as a kid, but that planting down the needle onto a record and the care that you're taking with the record, not touching it by the edges. There's something magical about the whole experience, I think, for me. So yeah, anyway, I wanted to share that with you a little bit, and I don't know if you can hear this. This is Gregory Isaacs, and it's another fantastic record that I used to listen to so much as a kid. Brilliant reggae. Just, you can't hear this through a stupid camera mic, but it's amazing. It's incredible. The bass is like, it's like literally like a driving train. It's that tangible, And I mean, I know my mother played this a lot when she was younger, and we used to play it when I was very young, all the time. I mean, here's the sleeve for it if you're interested. Came off a Jamaican label, I think. This is kind of like a more sought after record, which is incredible that we have it because it's beautiful. But yeah, so we've played this particular piece of plastic a million times between either me or my mother, and since I've got this back, I've been listening to it solidly as well. And it still sounds amazing. I mean, I love it so much now. I want to record it onto Pro Tools or tape just to keep these mixes, because they're not even available like on a CD. I mean, this is only a vinyl release. So yeah, I do encourage you to have a look, have a read, and maybe if you're young and into music, certainly like my age or younger, or any age, you know, it's a great thing that lots of people don't know about. It's becoming more popular now. There are more bands releasing on vinyl, there's more artists releasing on vinyl, current releases, like Justin Timberlake released on vinyl very recently with 2020 Experience, Emily Sandé released on vinyl, Adele is on vinyl, pretty much everything, anything with any clout is on vinyl basically. And so yeah, I encourage you to have a look. I mean, maybe have a listen. If you have a friend who has a vinyl setup, go and have a listen. And it might be something you're into. I mean, with me, I'm not a big party goer. I don't do a lot of things that young people do. So the money that I would spend on that, maybe I don't spend on that. I prefer spending it on a record from eBay. Not this one, but you know. And I'll listen to that. So you can build up a hobby this way. And maybe think about how you could you know, acquire this stuff, because it is incredible, and it only takes you to get a turntable to realise how amazing this is. But anyway, I'll be quiet. If that was useful or cool to you, let me know. I've got lots of more analogue treats I could pick out for you, whether it's photography or reel-to-reel tape, or more about vinyl. Maybe I can go through some of my collection. I have got a good 200-300 records here behind me alone. There's more in storage. So yeah, hope that was cool, and see you in another vlog soon. Thanks. Also, by the way, check out my my main channel. I've got an Ellie Goulding cover that I've done. That's my latest video. I'll leave the link over here. And yeah, hope you liked it. If you've seen it, or I'll be quiet. Thanks. See you soon.